Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot and a member of the PMDG 737 tech team. Welcome to another attempt to escape the cold winter. Today we're going to fly the TUI fly rotation from Düsseldorf via Vista to Saal and then back to Düsseldorf. This is an especially interesting one because of the different types of operation we are facing here. On our first leg today we are stretching the 737-800 to its very maximum range at about 2,600 nautical miles or 6 hours and 11 minutes flight time while carrying an almost full load of passengers. We can't go completely full, we are maxed out over here on our payload so that we don't exceed the maximum takeoff weight. Overall, this is going to be a very interesting one, so join me in the aircraft as we can make our way up to the flight deck. Just as in the real world, the crew would have gotten to the aircraft through the crew bus, so we gotta make our way all the way forward. And this just gives us an opportunity to just have another look at the beautiful cabin of the PMDG 737. I really gotta say I like how they improved that one with the FS24 version of the aircraft. The amount of detail is just really nice. Now, at this point I would also like to thank today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that is not just doing your standard IFR A to B flight, but also other things like VFR, data link and so on, then Say Intentions may just about be for you. So if you do like what you're about to see in today's video, then check them out using the link in the video description or the pinned comment below. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and make our way and take a seat on the flight deck of our 737. Now, it's 5:54 in the morning, UTC, +1 is local time, so 6:54. Our departure time is 7:20 local, so we have around 25 minutes to get her ready for today's flight. Well, let's go ahead and download the SimRoof data and take a look into our flight plan, because that one's going to be an especially interesting one today. So here's what our route looks like. We're departing Düsseldorf across Belgium, France, Spain and Portugal, across the Canary Islands and then all the way down to the Cape Verde Islands. As you can see, a rather long flight today, especially for a 737. Now the way down is going to be easy. We got that beautiful jet stream that's pushing us towards our destination over here, and that is unfortunately associated with a little bit of turbulence. Well, can't really avoid that, it's just that area crossing the Bay of Biscay over here around an hour after takeoff. The second half of our flight is totally fine until we make it down to the Cape Verde Islands. Now let's have a look into our airport weather. We are departing Düsseldorf and they're currently reporting northerly winds, overcast skies, temperature 0 and a QNH of 1008, and at our destination, at our first destination in Boa Vista, it's a beautiful weather forecast with northeasterly winds. And as you can see, even at this time in the morning, already 20 degrees, so it's going to be a beautiful time over there. Our alternate in Saal has pretty much exactly the same weather, which may be because they're exactly neighboring islands, which is going to turn the second leg of this rotation into a very interesting one with only approximately a 10 minutes flight time. Alright, so we now know that our airport weather is good, en route maybe some light turbulence. So let's have a look into our flight times. Departing at 6:20, we are going to arrive just about on time in Boa Vista. We are starting in flight hold 320, later on 33 and then 340 to make maximum use of the winds. Now for our fuel, they want us to leave with 17.8 tons of fuel, and if we just have a look over here, we are 400 kilos shy of the maximum takeoff weight, so we aren't going to take all that much extra. On the other end side, our alternate plus final reserve is a really low figure as well, so we gotta decide, well, with how much fuel do we actually want to arrive there. And, well, since we only have around 400 kilos margin to the max takeoff weight, and since some passengers may be carrying extra luggage, we don't have that much margin in terms of our fuel. So what are we gonna do? Well, 17.8 it is. It means we are going to arrive just about at the diversion fuel, but that's it. Don't really have any options. So if something goes wrong, if we don't get our requested altitudes, or if for whatever reason we are burning more fuel than planned, well, then we can refuel in the Canary Islands. Alright, so that's our schedule over here, so let's go ahead and get our refueling going. So FS Actions, ground services, give me that fuel truck and 17,800 kilos of fuel please. Now, with that done, let's go ahead and start our actual pre-flight procedures here. So, we've got the battery on, power on, landing gear lever is down, emergency exit lights on, attendant call button is checked, seatbelt signs are off. Then we can test the takeoff configuration warning, the APU fire warning, and the other fire warnings as well. But I'm mostly interested in the APU fire warning because of the low temperatures here, because we will be starting that APU in a couple of moments. Alright, down here everything is looking good. Then let's move right back up. Voice recorder on, clackers looking good. Flight recorder is tested. Stick shaker is looking fantastic. Alright, IRS into nav, and that's pretty much it. Then let's take a seat, and while we're on it already, let's go ahead and start that APU. Also gonna turn on the lights so that you can go out for the walk around, please. It's rather cold at 0 degrees, so you can do the walk around. I'm gonna do the walk around over on the cup. There it is. Alright, so since it is so cold, I did see a couple of snowflakes already as well, so let's just go ahead and turn that probe heat on over here. So then, light test is looking fantastic. And that's all looking good as well. Then let's also go ahead and turn on the electric hydraulic pumps and do the oxygen tests. And that's looking superb. Alright then, just making sure that airport and terrain are selected so that we do not accidentally trigger the weather radar while sitting at the gate. Okay then, so fuel truck is here. Let's start refueling. We're looking for 17.8, and then let's go ahead and request our boarding. So boarding's in progress, and then while we're waiting we can go down into our FMS. So we got the 737-800 with the split scimitars. 26K rating, nav database is up to date. Then we can copy and paste that IRS position. Hey, that aligned immediately. Not supposed to do that. I have a feeling something must have reset my options. Huh, that was surely not meant to be an instant. But the rest of my options are still there. That is looking fantastic. Alright, good. So then let's keep going. We can do an automatic flight plan request from SimBrief here. Automatically set that payload, please. And select route. And while we're waiting for the uplinks to arrive, let's go ahead and settle our charts. We're departing from Düsseldorf. We need the airport chart and the parking stand charts. And then we are probably going to depart via Modru, I would expect, for this routing. Yep, Modru it is. So let's get the Modru 7 Zulu ANAF departure chart. Down here it is. Please do give me the dark ones. That's nicer for the eyes, isn't it? Okay, lovely. So we can load that route. And we can already make a first comparison here. We are going from Echo Delta Delta Lima, Golf Victor Bravo Alpha, and with a TUI Jet 907 November. That is all looking good so far. Okay, so the routing is here. Let's also go ahead and grab our ATIS at this moment so that we know which runway to expect. So ATIS request is out. Uplink is... route data uplink is checked. Then we're just waiting for that ATIS to arrive. I'm fairly sure it is runway 05, but just want to be 100% sure here. Okay, Düsseldorf Airport, information Quebec, runway 05 left right, as expected, 360 at 9, Overcast, temperature 0, QNH 1008 is set over here, and then we can set the MFRA as well, which is going to be some 1130, I suppose. Well, let's make that 1200 due to cold temperature. Like that. Alright, 1200, and then we can simply copy paste it over to our colleague's side, like that. Okay, beautiful. So runway 05 is confirmed, then let's depart 05 right, and we got the Modru 7 Zulu departure, and for our arrival, not many approaches available, but runway 03 it is, so let's select the RNAV approach runway 03, and our arrival is going to be via the Dimki 1 Papa arrival, like that. Let's see where that leads us to. Bravo Alpha 503, then we can take the 503 transition. Okay, so that is looking fantastic. Activate. Alright, on to the next page. Let's see what our SID looks like. Straight ahead, Delta Lima 050, Delta Lima 053, NECOG, and we can insert a constraint for the initial climb over there. Okay, after NECOG we go to Orzov, Webag, Natex, and Modru, which is above flight level 210, so that all looks good. Alright, so on to the performance, and this is the next interesting one. Normally TUI flies at, I don't know, costing 10, 15 or so. Today we're using 6, because otherwise we just don't have the range for our flight. And the reserve fuel is 1.8, zero fuel weight 59.1, flight level 330 basically initially. Top of climb wind 251 at 45, and top of climb temperature is ISO -9, so that's gonna be minus 41 degrees. Transition altitude 5001. Takeoff page acceleration in 1500. Like that, and we're probably gonna have a wet runway. Now for the fixed page, we are leaving Düsseldorf, and we are going to be using a 25-mile ring. Like that. 250 below level 100 is in here, and with that we've already checked our FMS. Good. Okay, so very quick aircraft setup. How's the fueling going? 16.4, so still refueling. Then let's turn the air conditioning on. And it's a 737, so cold airplane, air conditioning, use something like that. Okay, so initial climb flight level 330. Like that, the destination is at 0. So, courses, we can use the runway track 050, the same goes for the heading, and initial climb is 5000, so we'll use 5100 for the time. So, courses 050, flight directors are on and minus the master, and that's it. Okay, oil quantity is full. Hydraulic quantity is looking good. QNH 1008. Like that. Alright, the fuel is almost done. Park and brake set, delivery 1-to-1, that's 7-8 or so. Yep, 1-to-178, and then the ground 1-to-1 605. Like that. We'll tune Düsseldorf VOR 1515. Get that audio control panel on. Weather radar got some weather and turbulence, TCAS above, and all the rest is set. Then we can choose 1 to 1.5 on COM2. $15.15 on VOR2. First officer may also listen to something. Data is selected, and with that we finished our setup. Okay, so we are done setting our airplane up. Then we have 12 minutes left to our scheduled departure time. So let's go ahead and grab our IFR clearance. So we had information Quebec on board. So let's see, departure clearance. ATIS Quebec, stand Charlie 1, and the airport is Düsseldorf. Let's also say good morning. And that's Düsseldorf to Boa Vista, TUI 97 November. The rest is looking good. Send that. Okay. So that thing's out. Then let's go ahead and do our departure briefing, please. So threats for the departure, to be honest, I do not see any. We will be de-icing the plane though, because there have been a couple of snowflakes earlier as well. Okay, so then let's go for the route check.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Going from Echo Delta Delta Lima to Golf Victor Bravo Alpha to E97 November, and our routing
please take your seats according to your boarding passes and stow your hand luggage in the
is via Modro Zulu 717 Maastricht, Upper November 617 Chevron, November 852 Medal, direct Covin, direct Nidov, direct Kiwi, November 852 Riga, direct Fushki, Pepet, Barkop, Bartox, Babex, Vapsi, Barok, Upper November 853 Samar, direct Yusmi, direct Lima, November 873 Ipera, direct Dimki for the arrival, and that's with a ground distance of 2649er versus 2655. Fuel remaining 2.1, reserves 1.8, so we got 5 minutes extra. Even though the FMS doesn't know about the step climb that we'll do, so might be saving a little over here. Time UTC 0610, altimeter 1008, reading 100 feet, I'm afraid 1200, flight directors are on, and mine is the master. It's gonna be a left seat takeoff, runway 05 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2 with the acceleration in 1500. Engine anti-ice will be on. For the emergencies, we'll do everything as briefed in the crew room, and engine out sits jet at 25 to pick up the holding in 3000, which is safe above the cold temperature corrected MSA. Our taxi is a pushback, probably the long one onto Papa 4, and then we are going to taxi straight out runway 05 right, and our sit is the Modru 7 Zulu departure from runway 05 right, and that one is going to take us with an MSA of 2400, 2900 down in the south, straight at 053 Nikok, Orzov, and so on. So basically long way around. At 2000 we contact departure on 121.355. Any questions or suggestions? Nope. Alright, then that's our departure briefing completed. So, we do have a comm message. That's probably going to be our departure clearance. Yep, couple of messages here, being processed standby, and here's the clearance. So, cleared to Boa Vista, runway 05 right, with the Modru 7 Zulu departure, which is confirmed. Maintain 5000 feet, which we have set twice, and contact departure 128655, squawk 3571. Wilco. Alright, and that's our clearance confirmed. Good, then we are done setting up over here, so refueling is also complete. Fasten seatbelt signs are going on, then let's have a look at what GSX is doing. Boarded. Lovely. The question is, why doesn't it tell us boarding complete? And the answer is because it is too dumb to open the cargo doors. Okay, well, that's an answer that I can live with. Then let's just go down to the weight and balance app. Here's what we got. And in the meantime, ground ops, door management, aft cargo open, forward cargo open. Okay, and you can already close the aft door, please. Alrighty. So, cargo loading is in progress. In the meantime, we can do our performance. So we've got a zero fuel weight of 59.1 and the CG of 24. And 59.1 is in there, giving us 76.9, which matches our EFB. Wonderful. So, performance, Düsseldorf, 5 right. Takeoff weight, let's calculate 77 tons. Takeoff CG was 22. Engine anti-ice will be on, and air conditioning will be on. Just import that weather, please. QNH now 1009er. Set, and set. Alright, calculate. Takeoff 1, 30 degrees. We will be de-icing the plane, so let's force it to full. Where is that button? In the real world, you have an easy button to do that. Looks like in the PMDG you actually don't. Alright, but the good thing with an assumed temperature is you don't have to take it into consideration. So we are just going to go full takeoff 1. Like that. Flaps 5, CG 22. And that's resulting in takeoff speeds. I actually tell you what, forgot the wet runway. But same. So 150, 152, 157. Like that. And 157. Alright, trim 6 units. Like that, and here we go. Alright, performance is done, then let's say hello to our passengers. Liebe Fluggäste, einen schönen guten Morgen aus dem Cockpit, hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel und im Namen der TUI darf ich Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unserer Boeing 737-800 auf unserem gemeinsamen Flug auf die Kap-Verde-Inseln begrüßen. Wir erwarten heute einen weitestgehend ruhigen Flug, vielleicht leichte Turbulenz über der Bucht von Biscaya. Mit einer Flugzeit von 6 Stunden und 11 Minuten, was bedeutet, dass wir auf unserem ersten Stopp in Boa Vista pünktlich ankommen werden. Wir bedanken uns an der Stelle schon einmal ganz herzlich, dass Sie heute unsere Gäste sind. Lehnen Sie sich zurück, genießen Sie den Flug mit uns. Wir werden das Flugzeug, nachdem das Gepäck geladen ist, jetzt noch enteisen und machen uns dann auf den Weg für einen pünktlichen Abflug. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit, noch einmal herzlich willkommen bei uns an Bord und wir melden uns im Anflug dann mit den neuesten Wetterbedingungen bei Ihnen. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel, and in the name of TUI Jet, I would like to welcome you all on board our Boeing 737-800 on our flight to the Cape Verde Islands. We are just loading the last luggage. Once that is completed, we will be de-icing the aircraft and then make our way to runway 05 right for a departure across the Ruhr area and thereafter setting course to the south to the Cape Verde Islands. We are expecting a mostly smooth flight, maybe some light turbulence while we cross the Bay of Biscay, and we are expecting a flight time of 6 hours and 10 minutes, leading to an on-time arrival in our first destination in Boa Vista. Thank you very much for being on board. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our shining cabin crew members. Thank you very much for your attention, and once again, welcome aboard. Alright, passengers are covered, then let's do the safety inspection checklist and before start checklist down to the line. Services and chocks checked, maintenance status checked, battery on, electric hydraulic pumps on, landing gear lever down, ship's library checked, iris mode selectors, nav, gear pins 1, 2, 3 removed, probe covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removed, light test checked, oxygen tested 100%, yaw damper on, nav transfer display switches normal and auto, fuel 17.5 8 required, 17.8 on board, and 6 pumps on. Cabin utility IV galley power on, emergency exit lights on, fast modes on, window heat on, air conditioning pressurization, PAX auto bleeds on set, pressurization mode selector, auto, instruments, cross check, auto brake, RTO, hydraulics, normal, speed brake, down detent, parking brake set, stop from cutout switches normal, wheel well fire warning checked, radius, radar and transponder, standby, radar and aileron trims 3 and 0, takeoff briefing discussed, PA complete, FMC CDU set, N1 and ES bucks, automatic, full 24K, speeds 50, 52, 57 set, stop trim, 6 units required set, start levers idle detent, flight controls checked, recall checked, no wait a moment, stop trim 6.2 set, performance weight and balance sign send, phones off, EFB, in airplane mode am stowed, flutter windows and cockpit door. I think we can already close this up. Are closed, passengers seated and waiting for the doors. So let's see how that loading is going. Last couple of bags, perfect. Then we also still have a fuel truck down there, which you may already remove. So, releasing that tuck, and the APU is on the bus, so we can also release that ground power already. Alright GSX, still loading, so let's already prepare for pushback and departure. And then everything should be done within a matter of minutes. It's 19, the scheduled off block is at 20, so that is pretty much perfect. Fairly easy taxi, parking Charlie 1, pushback is either going to be in a Papa 4 or into Romeo, depending, and then Romeo, Lima 8, Mike Lima 9, or maybe a Romeo Tango 1, Lima 9, something like that. We can de-ice at the position today, no problems with that, and well, that's mostly what I got here. So, might as well already get the anti-icing procedures out, because that is going to be up next. So, de-icing, anti-icing procedure. If it is needed, APU is needed, should be shut down unless operation is necessary, which it is, because we are not allowed to de-ice here with the, not allowed to de-ice with our external power panel open. So, flaps up, that prevents slush from accumulating in the flap cavities, and they're up. Thrust levers idle, and they're in idle. Stabilizer trim should be 6 units, and is 6 units. Engine bleed air switch is off. Off. APU bleed air switch off. Off. And after de-icing and anti-icing is completed, we can do more stuff, but that is done for the time being. Okay, so passengers are seated, doors are closed, slides are armed. Then let's get the de-icing, please. Okay, chocks can be removed. And then we're ready to go. So, do you request de-icing? Yes, we do. Alright. Der Boden von oben. So, we need de-icing. A single step is sufficient. Actually, tell you what, yeah, a single step is sufficient. Make that a type 4 fluid if you have at a 50% concentration. That should be okay. And the aircraft is prepared for spraying, so you can start the procedure. And while we're waiting for that to happen, so type 4 fluid, and it doesn't even ask us the concentration. That's okay, fine with me. While we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and determine the holdover time. With courtesy to the FAA. So let's have a look. We are using a Type 4 fluid today, and the temperature is -3 degrees and above, and we are looking at probably light freezing rain. So that's giving us a holdover time of 15 minutes. See, that's why I'm going for a Type 4 fluid here. Rain is really washing the fluid off so easily from the wing that we really need to be absolutely certain here. And as you can tell, 15 minutes is not a lot. And the treatment is already ongoing, so let's start that timer. Or rather, let's start the elapsed timer. Okay, and then we're just waiting for the de-icing process to finish. Quite incredible. I think I've never de-iced as much as I had to this winter. It's been a pretty moist and pretty freezy winter this time. Alright, so de-icing is completed. Then let's go ahead and start that timer and continue with the rest of the procedure, which is after de-icing is completed, APU is needed. Caution: after de-icing, the use of the APU bleed air during takeoff can cause smoke in the airplane. Yep, ain't gonna do that. APU bleed air switch as needed. Wait approximately 1 minute after de-icing is completed to turn the engine bleed air switches on to ensure all de-icing fluid has been cleared from the engines. So we'll just wait a minute for the APU as well. Should be there any moment anyway now. And thereafter it's APU bleed on, engine bleed on, and flight control check as needed, and that's the procedure complete. Okay, so with all that done, we already do have our IFR clearance, so let's go ahead and request pushback. Düsseldorf ground, guten Morgen, TUI jet 907 November, request pushback and startup at gate Charlie 1. Alright, the minute is over. All three switches on.
907 November, pushback and startup approved, face west.
Pushback and startup approved, facing west, TUI jet 907 November. Before start checklist below the line, air compacts off, anti-collision light on, parking brake set, transponder alt off, before start checklist complete. Okay, ground from flight deck. Pushback and startup are approved, facing west, and the parking brake is set. Okay, release parking brake. Parking brake released. So you clear to push, off block 25, and we'll put the delay onto the de-icing. We would otherwise have been ready on time. Roger that, start on the pushback, stand by for engine start. Alright, and here we go. So let's see how they're... Oh, lovely.
Cabin attendants.
That is going to turn out expensive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard TUI Flight 7168, departing for Rabel Airport.
So let's see how that pushback is actually going to work. I think they're probably going to turn us to the right here in a moment.
The upcoming safety demonstration, as it contains
Or are they actually pushing us all the way over? I think they're going to make a 180 now. Let's see if that pushback route is actually going to keep us clear of that gate area here. Probably not, I guess.
Please return your seatbacks and tray tables to the upright position and open your window blinds for takeoff. Mobile phones
It definitely looks like an interesting routing.
And larger devices should be securely stowed. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are prohibited anywhere on board.
Yep, they're doing the 180 here.
Oxygen masks will drop automatically if required. Pull the mask
I just have no idea how that route is actually going to look like. I mean, in the real world they would probably have pushed us straight and then pulled us forward to align us with the taxiway. That's my expectation at least.
Floor level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which may be behind you.
So come on, you gotta do that 180 now.
Leave all personal belongings behind and follow
Yeah, here we go.
If a power bank or any
Okay then, ground flight deck, we're ready for engine start. Sequence is 2 then 1. And we'll start engine 2 now.
Information card contains all details. Thank you for your attention.
Engine 2 start. And 2. All pressure, and 1. Starter cutout, monitor 2, starting 1. And 2. All pressure, and 1. And here we go, it starts raining again, so now the holdover time really starts to matter. Starter cutout, monitor 2. And then we'll finish the pushback over here, please, so that you don't push us into the Embraer. Oh, it's actually doing that. Okay. So, pushback is completed, set park and brake. Brake set. Okay, and we have 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the clear signal on the left-hand side, please, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Okay, we gotta test the flaps on the full circle. And flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. And neutral. Okay, flaps are at 40, then let's bring them back up. And there's the ramp agent, she's holding a pin. Before taxi checklist. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, ProPeat on, anti-ice, engine anti-ice on, air conditioning, PAX auto, bleeds on, isolation valve auto, and holding at flaps. Just gotta make sure that they travel the entire range. And well, it's +1 and raining, so we can already extend them back into 5. Okay, here we go, full travel is assured. So flaps, 5 required, 5 selected, and then it's just gonna take a little moment. In the meantime, flight control is checked, recall checked, so we're just waiting for the flaps to extend now. And here we go, 5 green light, before taxi checklist complete. TUI Jet 9R7 November, request taxi.
TUI Jet 9R7 November, runway 05, right taxi via Romeo Mike Lima 9er.
Taxi runway 05 right via Romeo Mike Lima 9er, TUI Jet 9R7 November. Okay, Romeo Mike Lima 9er. We are clear on the left side, we are clear on the right side. Config. It's checked. So, straight out and then to the right. Very heavy aircraft, as you can feel, right at the maximum takeoff weight. Okay, before takeoff checklist down to the line. Config checked, flaps 5 green lights, tap trim 6 units set. Takeoff briefing, left seat takeoff, runway 05 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, buck up in 1500, PAX auto bleeds on, engine anti-air is on, and the SID is straight out left turn at 2000, contact departure 1211355, MSA 2900, cold temperature correction is no longer necessary as it's +1 now, so 3000 is going to keep us safe. Nothing special, nothing non-standard, and that's it. Any questions? No? Alright. Cabin. Before takeoff checklist complete down to the line. Okay, right side is clear. And Lima 9 is off to the left.
Contact tower on 118.305, bye bye.
118.305, TUI jet 97 November, ciao. And departure 128.655 according to the clearance. Forgot that earlier. Here we go. So the Eurowings is departing. Düsseldorf Tower, guten Morgen. TUI jet 97 November, ready for departure. Yeah, that was unreadable. Brake set. Alright, the Eurowings is going. It's probably gonna be our turn right thereafter. Lovely weather, isn't it?
TUI jet 907 November, runway 05 right, winds 360 at 9 cleared for takeoff.
Runway 05 right, clear for takeoff, TUI jet 97 November. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Just another config check here. Okay, so we got 12 minutes now. We said 15 minutes is our holdover time, so we are good to go.
Approaching 05 right.
Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP, set, transponder, Tara, strobe lights on, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. Are you happy with the rolling takeoff? Man, look at those lights. Quite beautiful, aren't they? Okay. Takeoff. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Oh, here we go. Now we got heading select toga. Checked. select LNAV, select VNAV.
November, contact departure on 128.655.
Flaps 1. 128.655 to eject 97 November, see ya. Flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. Long radar, guten Morgen to eject 97 November, passing 2200, climbing 5000.
Tweeted 907 November, Düsseldorf departure identified. Climb via the SID to flight level 210.
Climb via SID, flight level 210 to eject 97 November. Set. 210 checked. Flaps up, no lights.
TUI at 907 November. Contact line and radar on 128.505.
128.505 to eject 97 November. Just Command A. Long radar, guten Morgen to eject 97 November, passing 4700, climbing level 210. Set standard.
7 November, Langen Radar identified. Guten Tag, Düsseldorf. QNH 1008.
Yeah, whatever, we're in the flight levels now. Alright, off the takeoff checklist. And engine anti-ice off. So, air conditioning pressurization, 2.6 climbing and set. Altimeters, standard, passing level 6-7 now. After takeoff checklist complete. Okay. Let's see if there is any shortcut possible. Might save a little bit of fuel as well, because right now it says we arrive with 1.6. To eject 907 November. Any chance to proceed direct Modru?
We at Nina 7 November. Clear direct Modru. Resume own navigation.
Direct to Modru to eject 907 November. Danke. Direct to Modru to eject 97 November. Okay, Modru. And that's looking good. LNAV available. LNAV. So let's just maintain that speed while we are still in the turn, because otherwise the plane is just going to overshoot the turn. 737 thingy, it always calculates the turn radius at the present speed and doesn't anticipate any acceleration.
Dear guests,
Okay,
lavatories are no longer
altimeters.
for your use.
Passing level
You may also use electronic devices
107,
in flight.
climbing level 210,
Our
10
cabin
checks.
service will begin
Fuel
shortly.
balance, 6 pumps
Thank
on,
you for your
lights
attention, and enjoy
off,
the flight.
APU off, air conditioning pressurization to 4.2 climbing set, fasten belts on, recall checked, and monitoring 1 to 1.5. Finally, let's connect to data link. We're going to be Maastricht up next, so connecting. Okay, let's see. ETA 26, fuel remaining 1.7. Can we save anything here by going higher? 350 maybe? Yeah, saves quite a bit. And 3.5 is the optimal already, so let's go right up there. Okay, also let's go ahead and just do a wind data request down here. And speed window is closed. ATC call. Lock on accepted. Wonderful, then we're just waiting for the winds to arrive, which should happen any moment as well now. Load. And execute. So, ETA 47, 3.2. Alright, easy going. So those winds on a flight like this obviously do make quite a bit of a difference, as we can see down here as well. So 3.2 arrival fuel, that's easy. And the descent forecast is here as well, so let's just load that as well already. Alright, so for the time being, we even got half an hour extra, so let's just keep going, and then I see you all when we start the approach into our destination. Also, we can release the passengers for now. And man, just look at these beautiful colors across the flight deck here. I really gotta say I like those. Just like this. Yep, it is a beautiful flight simulator. It is really a beautiful flight simulator. Okay then. So, for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight, and then I'll get back to you when we start the approach into our destination airport. So we've just received the handover to approach, and we are passing 10,000 here. It's a very shallow arrival due to some of the altitude restrictions here, so don't be surprised if we are showing very low, even though we are actually still pretty high. So let's just go ahead and make sure lights are on, signs are on, and then contact approach 128.2.
And stow them until we arrive at the gate. Ensure your tray tables are put away, your seats are in the full upright position, and your seat belts are fastened. The weather in Rabil is quite pleasant with a temperature of 22 degrees Celsius and no significant clouds. Thank you for your cooperation.
Approach, good morning, TUI Jet 907 November, passing 9,100, descending 2,500. And ATC call. Entering terminal airspace, CPDLC terminated, and lock off. Here we go. Approach hello to Jet 907 November, passing 8,400, descending 2,500. So,
Jet 907 November, down control, contact SAL approach. Approach on 126.4.
126.04 to eject 97 November.
Eject 97 November, identified. Good afternoon.
So what now? So just to confirm, we are changing to 126.04 to eject 97 November. Approach hello to eject 97 November, 7,800 descending 2,500. Okay, well that was kind of interesting.
Jet 97 November, SAL approach identified. Good afternoon, cleared Bravo Alpha 503 transition. Expect the RNAV runway 03 approach into Boa Vista.
Expect the RNAV runway 03 via Bravo Alpha 503 to eject 97 November. Okay, so, as mentioned, very low altitude restriction here at waypoint 365. That is the reason why we are flying so low in the first place.
Jet 97 November. Expect the DIM Key 1 Papa arrival. Bravo Alpha 5.
Yeah, whatever. I know that we are flying on that arrival, because, you know, we are almost at the end of it. Okay, in any case, let's start talking about the approach. And, well, I suppose the easiest way to do that is via the approach briefing. So, threats for the arrival, mainly QNH blunder error, but we've already verified the QNH to be 1016, and that is set 3 times over here. Now, from there, let's go on into our FMS. So we got 250 below 100, the forecast page is filled out, we can just insert 1016, even though it's not going to make any difference anymore. Runway 03, 10 miles, 4 miles, and the arrival is going to be via Bravo Alpha 503, as ATC have just told us. And then we are going to turn base, final, and starting the descent out of waypoint 08 Sierra at 2500 with a 3-degree glide slope. That's exactly what we got down here as well. The only question is, why did it override that speed restriction? I entered 180 over there. So you are going to keep that, my friend. Okay, 3-degree glide down to the minimum, and in case of a go-around, then straight at 520, left turn, back 502, climbing 2500 as well. The minimum down here is 437, which we got on the left side, and now also on the right side. Use stand terrain, please. And field elevation is 57 feet, so yeah, might tune 50 up here, it doesn't make a difference. Alright, for the fuel, we are good, just as we predicted after takeoff. 3.5 on arrival, and 1.8 is the minimum, so that gives us a good half an hour extra. We're burning 300 kilos, and that's a landing weight of 62.6. And we only have 2,100 meters runway, so it's going to be flaps 40, auto brake 3, giving us approximately 1,800 meters landing run. We will have to do a backtrack at the end of the runway. Here you go, landing 03, backtrack at the end, and then via Bravo down to the apron. Probably parking somewhere over here, stand 1 or stand 2, so directly in front of the terminal. And that's everything I got for the time being. So let's just complete the double briefing as well. We fly the approach using flaps 5 by the final approach fix, LNAV VNAV all the way down. Runway waypoint is in there, so we can use the flight directors all the way to the landing. Otherwise, we can always recycle them as required. Yeah, it's an RNAV approach, so in case we lose RNAV capability, we got the islet inside. I'm sure we'll also have the field inside shortly, so then we can always just complete a visual approach. Any questions? And vertical speed, since ATC wants us down in 2500, minus 500. Okay, so yeah, we can always just complete the visual approach if we do lose references. Otherwise, yeah, basically, otherwise we can do the NDB approach to the opposite runway and then a circle to land runway 03. Any questions about the briefing or the double briefing? No? Lovely, then that's our approach briefing completed. So descent checklist, pressurization, land out 50, any IS off, approach being fuel disgusting, IS and out box checked and set, descent checklist complete. So we are at low altitude already, so let's go ahead and do the frisk as well. Frequency is not applicable, rings runway 0310-4, items not applicable, standby instruments set, and courses 024, is that right? No, 027. like that, and that. Okay, approach checklist. Altimeters and instruments, trust checked, approach aids checked and set, approach checklist completed. So, VSD coming on. And, well, then we are reaching the Cape Verde Islands. It's my first time flying here as well. Well, I think I flew to them like once or twice back in the days of FSX and prepared, but no photo scenery, just yellow-ish things in the countryside. So, very nice to see what they actually look like in Flight Simulator 2024 now. Those are some huge beaches for sure. Yep, I could absolutely get used to flying here a bit more often. Must be an interesting place to be in the real world as well. The way that TUI operates these flights is that you fly down there, then you either go into the hotel here, or you fly on to Sal. I think you probably do that. And then you go into the hotel in Sal, 2-day layover, and then you're flying back. They are coming here like twice or 3 times a week. So yeah, that's a way to get layovers as a Boeing 737 pilot. Okay, train is inside over there. Not gonna be a problem. And we are following the arrival anyway, where the minimum altitude is 2,500 feet. But yeah, I could absolutely get used to this. I'm sure exploring those islands must be very interesting in the real world. Alright, so here's the terrain. It's inside. A couple more hills over there, and the field must be somewhere over there. Currently not inside yet, but we will be following the on-off approach to the final anyway. It's kind of interesting that they have this low altitude restriction that makes us fly at, well, our present altitude now. Because I would think that you would definitely find a couple of birds over here, which, you know, flying no speed restrictions at 245 knots. Respectively 250 down at this altitude. I could see how a bird strike into one of the front windows might be causing some trouble here. Or into the engines as well, for that matter. Look at these beaches here. That's something I could get used to. I did hear from a couple of friends who flew at TUI in the past that they have quite the nice hotel here as well. And look at that beach. What is that, like a couple 100 meters to the waterfront? Couple of hotels over here. And as we can hear, nothing going on with ATC because, well, there's simply nothing happening here. ATC call. Expect cargo parking 11. Well, I doubt that. I seriously doubt that. Is there even a parking 11 at this stand? Nope. 1 through 5. And that's it. Okay, no comment on that. I suppose Say Intentions doesn't have any good data there. Which is not surprising, seeing how remote a place this is, but, you know. Alright then, let's start slowing down. By the time we pass the 10-mile rings, we want to have 200 knots, so...
November, cleared for the ANAV runway 3 approach via Bravo Alpha 503.
Via Bravo Alpha 503, cleared ANAV runway 03 to eject 97 November. Alright, easy. Flaps 1. Speed checked.
November. Expect the RNAV runway 03 approach.
What are you doing? Like, I just read that back. I'm sure it's misunderstanding the readbacks once again, but why? Alright, the speed is reducing nicely. We will have quite a bit of headwind on the final as well, looking at this.
Contact Vista Tower on 118.99.
118.9 to EJ 97 November. For Vista Tower to EJ 97 November, established RNAV 03. So, runway heading set.
7 November. For Vista Tower. Not clear what you said. Say again.
Oh god. TUI Jet 97 November established on final approach runway 03. That is not how you would say this in the real world. +5. Speed checked.
TUI Jet 97 November. Wind 040 at 15. Runway 03. Clear to land.
Runway 03, clear to land. TUI Jet 97 November. Okay, that is what we've been looking for. So, nothing in sight just yet, except for that lovely hill down there. So, everything's nice and slow, very easy going here. Approach and descent. 500 feet set. VNAV path, speed intervent. Alright, so waypoint 08 Sierra in 2500, and then we start our 3-degree descent. Yeah, that's interesting. It's quite the large hill over here, seeing that we are about to start our descent. And we do have it on the VSD down there, but it looks a lot smaller down there than it does outside. Okay, FAF 2500, no flags. All checks, no flags. So, 7 miles, 2380. 7 miles. What, are we 100 low? What is VNAV doing? 6 miles, 2050. Yep, we're definitely a little low here. Alright, 6 miles, 30 low. That's okay. 5 miles, 1730. Five miles, 30 low. Okay, 4 miles, 1400. And gear down, flaps 15. Landing checklist to flaps. Start switches continuous, recoil checked, speed brake, arm green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake 3 set, flaps 25, speed check, flaps 25, passing 1000 AGL, go around altitude 2500 set, and flaps 40, speed check, flaps 40, complete the landing checklist, flaps 40, 40, green light, landing lights on, landing checklist completed, crew seated, clear to land. Okay. I think that's our runway. Manual thrust, manual flight. So, Poppy is showing 3 wides.
Approaching minimums.
Checked.
Minimums.
Continue.
300.
Now we're back on the Poppy. Speed brakes up, thrust wheels normal. %, 80 knots.
900 meters remaining.
60 knots, manual brakes. I think we can do the 180 over here. Just gonna make it nice and slow. Like this.
Twitch 7 November. Welcome to Boa Vista. Taxi to cargo parking. 11 at your
Ladies and
discretion.
gentlemen,
Stay with
welcome
me.
to Rabil. Did you know that Rabil
I will take the parking number 1 at our discretion to each at 97 November.
flying with TUI flag? Please remain seated until we reach our final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying with TUI flag. The local time here is 11.
Alright.
100 meters
We have a few upcoming connections.
No, we have no upcoming connections at all, my friend.
At 12:15 p.m. from Gate A and flight 352 to Munich.
Okay,
Starting at
so
12:30 p.m. from Gate B. Thank you.
Boa Vista Tower, Tomjet 864, established on the RNAV runway 03.
yeah, we're not the only ones.
Moza.
What is GSX doing? Oh, fucking hell. You're not in pushback mode. Okay, starting APU. Incredible GSX. Let's restart Throttle off screen.
Tomjet 864. Wind 050 at 15. Runway 03. Clear to land.
Clear to land 03.
Okay, we'll park in over here. Stand number 2. I just decided I'm going to take number 2 because, well, it's right in front of the terminal. And the entire thing is broken again. You literally had one job, GSX. And this is not it. Alright, B737 is the one in front. We're sitting slightly in front of the nose wheel, so if we park directly next to that line over here, we should be good to go. Like this. And we have 2 blue, 1 red. Engines dead. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay. Let's try once more. Nope. Incredible. Transit shutdown checklist. Electrical on APU, fasten modes off, probe bleed auto, anti-ice off, voice recorder on, air compacts auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleed on, exterior lights, steady and wheel well, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up and light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar is off, transponder 2000 standby, CV RCB in, cockpit door unlocked, transit shutdown checklist complete. Okay, and with that, welcome to Boa Vista. That's the end of our first leg. The second one's going to be especially interesting here because it will be basically just straight ahead on the runway heading for, 15 or 20 nautical miles, and then we are there already. So I'm very much looking forward to welcome you all on that one. In the meantime, as always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Don't land like that TUI UK over there just did. And then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.